If you're like me and you're trying to get a serious amount of solar on the roof of your van and you're struggling because you're running out of space, then this is a video for you. We decided that we wanted a shower right here, but that one simple decision of putting a shower in has meant that we're going to fall short on getting the 600 watts of solar that I wanted on the roof. A shower needs ventilation, and ventilation means a fan, and a fan means space on the roof because it's going to be going right here. So if we don't fix this, it means we're going to be short on power, which means we're going to have to go on grid and stay on campsites, and that's the whole point of van life, right, is to be away from the rat race, escaping the matrix and staying off grid for as long as possible. Now, most fan builders will fit as much solar as they can on the roof and just crack on with it, and they won't realise until it's too late. So today we're fitting a Scanstrut XT60 Ventura Series. Sounds easy, and to be fair, it is. It's just one little port, but that little port can mean the difference between running out of power off grid and thriving off grid and keeping them batteries super topped up. So let's get into this video and crack on with this very easy job, hopefully. But given our past history, probably not. I'm no, like, you know, electrics expert, but I have learned a little bit about like solar and what is that hitting me in the face? Anyway, I have learned a little bit about Campervan electrics. Well, I've been planning this build for what feels like years and years and years. So every video there is out there, I've probably watched it. And what I have learned is if you want solar panels of a different size, you could run them through one MPPT, but all you're doing is limiting the power of your most powerful one down to the lowest common denominator, because the MPPT will like pull it down to your worst panel. So what you need if you're going to do two panels is a secondary MPPT, which is what we're going to do. If what I just said sounds like complete gobbledygook, just pause the video here, take a look at this graphic, and hopefully this explains it a little bit better than me. But essentially, if you're using two different size panels, you need two MPPTs. So we're going to be putting another MPPT here. So we're going to have our main one, which is going to go with a big panel on the roof, and then our secondary one is going to run the plug-in ones, and I'm going to leave a little bit of space for upgrading in the future. Now, we're not going to be fitting the MPPT in today's video, but what we are going to be doing is fitting the XT60 plug, and this is the one that I've gone with. Yes, the van's a big mess, but don't look at that. It's just because I've been doing loads of like higgledy-piggledy jobs, so just don't watch that. Okay, so if you've been looking into cable glands and cable seals, you'll have heard of this name, Scanstrut. And that is where I've got this XT60 from. Now this is really, really waterproof because it's obviously made for boats and the marine sort of market. And this is going to be awesome on the side of the van. It's going to be super waterproof, and I think it's going to look pretty cool. I can't remember how much I paid for this, to be honest, but I will leave a link for it in the description for you. But this is IP68 waterproof, which is pretty waterproof if you have a look at it. And it's IP69K waterproof with the lid shut. That's right, I'd never heard of IP69K either, but essentially it means it can be fully submerged in water, it's completely dust tight, and can resist up to 100 bar of pressure from multiple angles. Oh, and high temps. So this is going to be more than good enough for any sort of weather that we're going to be throwing at the van. The good thing about Scanstrut is you get some proper instructions with it, which you don't get with that Fairwell water adapter. And you didn't get any bolts with the Fairwell water adapter either. Now you do get some little screws with this, but the instructions, if I just reach over for them, actually have this on it, which is a template to cut out and use for when you're drilling your holes. And that is the first product that I bought for this van that actually gives you that. So well done, Scanstrut. That is going to help me a lot because, as you know, I keep getting the holes wrong on this fan, like that one over there, like that one over there, which I over tightened, like the fan up there, which leaked, and the window over there, which leaked. So, you know, hopefully this time we're going to get this one bang on. Now it comes with a few cables at the back as well, which you can hook up to your additional solar cables and run it around, and that's what you get. So I'm not going to click this shut, because if you click it shut before it's installed, it's difficult to get off. But that is what we're going to be fitting. Now I'm hoping that it's going to fit perfectly in that spot down there, which means I can remove another drop pin and not have to worry about filling them holes. Our electrical system is going just here. So you can see I've cut a little hole out of the insulation already and found one of the holes that used to have a drop pin in. And I took the drop pin out last night just to see what size the hole was, and luckily enough, it's small enough that I can drill it out a little bit further and fit this XT60 inlet. Okay, so that's the hole that we're going in. We should be good to go, and that is spot on. So job number one, get some scrap ply and make a little sort of frame for the back for us to bolt through, because I'm not going to use the screws, I'm going to use bolts like I did on the others, because I feel like that is a safer bet. Now there's one thing that is for damn sure. I know exactly what size hole saw I need this week, and this is it. It's a 25mm, and do you know how I know? Because it tells you on the bloody packet, and it also tells you on the website and everywhere else that you might need to know, unlike that thing that you can't see behind there, that water filler. We just want you to guess. Now hopefully this is going to fit in first time. And if it does, I think it'll be the first time I've ever done it. First time. Okay, let's see if this is going to go in first. No, of course not. Bloody hell. No, biscuit stuck in the end. Right, this time I've taped it down and I'm going to drill around there, and hopefully that doesn't rip up. It's probably going to win it because this is me we're talking about. Okay, test number 2. Come on this time. I think that is bang on and in. Let's check from underneath. Perfect. And little did I know that this was just a massive waste of time. Okay, so we've got the tape and get into it. So that is roughly where we're going, and we want to try and make sure that that hole is part of the main structure of the 2 holes. Right, let's get this cut up then. Get this hole saw back on and cut another hole in the van. Now, for those who are interested, I think this is the last hole in the side of the van. But we do have some to do in the roof, and we've got some to do in the floor. And coming up in maybe next week is the dome fan on the roof, and maybe this solar gland. The floor holes, they're going to be down the line a little bit because I'm trying to put that off for as long as I can. I'm having a bit of trouble with the drill bit on that hole saw, so we're going to go in independently and then get the hole. Well, that one went straight through. Let's try again with the hole saw and see if we can get... Now the drill bit's come out. That's no good. I actually don't even know where that's gone, to be honest. Luckily you get a spare, but you don't get a spare spring. I don't know how important the spring is. I guess we're going to find out. But where has it even gone? Does this happen to you? Because it happens to me all the time. Like, I put something down, don't know where it is. Like, well, drill bits don't disappear into the ether out of hole saws all the time. That's new. But yeah, weird. Look, it's here. Camouflaged. This is terrible. Sorry, but this is absolutely shocking, and this did not happen on the last one of these I bought, last hole saw from this company. Okay, let's tighten up again. Let's give it another go. After the drill bit debacle, I thought that we were on a roll, but it wouldn't be one of our videos if there wasn't a little hiccup here and there. It's not level. Shit. Beeping now. I'm gonna, oh, what am I gonna do? Again, I'll be glad when this whole business is over. Yeah, I mean, there's no way that's level. Look at that. Tell you what, let's just cut, let's just cut the edges out and see what we're dealing with. Test fit time. So, looks like I've got a little bit of manoeuvring there, luckily. So if I go there, that kind of looks straight, and looking at where I've got the bolt holes, we're not a million miles away. Probably just want to line that up a bit better. Now, because I'm also trying to be precision man, I'm going to go in with a small bit to start with into them holes, and then I'll make it progressively bigger, ready to accept the M4 bolts that I'm going to use. I mean, at this point I might even go back to the screws and just Sikaflex them, but they won't go through the wood, so I don't know, I'll have to think that through at the moment, but that is where I'm at. I don't know what it is about cutting holes in this fan. That's so hard. It should be a little bit easier really, but I'm guessing it's just experience. If you're like me and you've got no experience, then you feel my pain, I feel your pain, whatever. And you pros, you've done it a million times, probably laughing at me saying, oh, well, you should do it like this and you should do it like that. Well, let me know in the comments all of your tips, because, you know, don't be a smart ass about it. Just tell me what they are, yeah, because I need your help. I just want to speak to you guys about your subscription status, because if you're not subscribed yet, you definitely should, because you get watching the videos anyway, right? And 70% of people who watch our videos haven't subscribed yet, and you probably don't even know that you've not subscribed, because YouTube just puts it up in the thing. Now, subscribing helps us a lot, but hypes help us even more. So if you are enjoying the video, make sure you hit that hype button if you're watching it in the first 7 days. But anyway, we super appreciate it, and all this positive stuff helps us stay motivated to make the videos even better and better and better for you guys, and hopefully even more ambitious when I start getting onto like electrics and stuff, because that's going to be scary. Oh yeah, bastard. I'm gonna drill bit down. Hot. This is taking a lot longer than it was supposed to be fair. I thought this would be literally a 10-minute job, so anyway. Primer. TT. Got some Sikaflex over the bolt holes, so when I put them bolts through, that should seal. Now, because I'm doing this one-personed, is that even a word? One-personed, makes life quite difficult, because I could do with somebody at the other side holding the wood on. But I do not have that luxury because Sal's at work. And this bit, which is about 10 seconds or so for you, was an absolute age for me, because trying to get this wooden frame on without somebody at the other side was an absolute faff. So much so that I think I'm going to ditch wooden frame, to be honest. I don't think it's needed. It's probably a bit of overkill. Now, in fairness, on the instructions, it didn't say that you had to use a wooden frame. It said that you could use bolts or screws. I feel like bolts are safer than screws. Sikaflex them up to death. So you would hope that these are going to stay on. I think the worry is, because of how I've done it, is I've got to tighten these bolts before that Sikaflex goes off, because I won't be able to move the bolts because the Sikaflex won't let the nut go around the bolt because it's stuck. So I'm under pressure, really. Okay, we are done. We've now got the first stage of our solar backup done. So, is it straight? Really hard for me to tell, but I think so. But that means now we can park the van in the shade, plug in the solar, and still charge the batteries. Even if it's only by 200 or 300 watts, it's still going to be putting something into the battery while the van's parked in the shade. And if we need to get loads of energy in, we've got the panel that's going up on the roof, which you'll find out in a future video, which means that we'll have around 700 watts of solar, which is a little bit better than I wanted to do. Now, I do have to put in an MPPT, but that's all part of the fun. So anyway, you know what that means? Peace out.